Hey YouTube, it's the Red Pillar of the Blue here today. I wanted to do a video on bugging in versus bugging out and my thoughts on it. Personally, I think bugging out is should not be your first option, especially in a very bad SHTF event. And I'll go over the reasons why first, and then I'll talk about bugging in. Now, there's advantages of bugging out. I'm not going to say that it's all bad, but the way I see it is, your home is your castle, and that's where your supplies are going to be. There's only so much that you can carry on your person at one time when bugging out. Even if you have another person or another two other people, a family, they're going to only be able to carry a certain amount of weight. You're going to only be carrying a certain amount of weight, and you can't take a huge amount of supplies with you. I guess if you were bugging out and you had a vehicle that you could, but what are the chances? Personally, I think the chances of bugging out in a vehicle, unless you know a day ahead of time, or you bug out the day that something happens and not everyone else realizes it, you probably have a good chance. But the odds of that actually being possible is very slim. It's just not. It's not. I guess you say feasible. Maybe even if you had a bike and a little like red pulley trailer, whatever they're called, those little ones, you still won't have very many supplies. And you need water, you need food, you need shelter, you need ways to defend yourself, and carrying all of that, more than a couple of days worth of food is going to be very difficult. And it's just, to me, it doesn't seem smart to do that. Especially if you live in a city, like a city or a town, even a town that's more than like a couple thousand people. The odds of getting stuck in traffic are pretty high. And what do you do if you have all your supplies loaded up and you're on your way to a bug out location or a friend's house and you get stuck? Your supplies are there, you're there. Yeah, you can get out and walk, but you got to leave your supplies there. I mean, you can only carry so much, and continue on your journey. And especially if someone sees that, if you leave and somebody sees that, they're going to break into your car. Especially on a second or third day, they're gonna start breaking into your car to get those supplies that you have. And then if you come back to get those same supplies and they're gone, I mean, you're up the creek without a paddle, and you wasted energy and time and resources to go get those supplies that weren't necessarily even there anymore anyway. And now if you're in a big city like New York or something like that, I think it would be a good idea to bug out, especially if you don't have any family. Even if you do have a family, say you have a wife, I still think it'd be a good idea to bug out, because living in a city like that during a disaster is most definitely not the best idea, or even close on halfway up the list of the best ideas you can come up with. That being said, I'll move over to bugging in and my thoughts on that. Personally, I'm bugging in for various reasons. One of them being I have a younger sister who's 14. It's not very old, but that's not extremely young. I have a mother who's not in the greatest of shape, and she probably couldn't walk more than 3 miles. And if you bug out and you have medical problems and something happens while you're out there in a disaster, no one's going to be there to help you, and you're on your own and in a bad situation. or one of your family members isn't healthy enough to be walking miles. I mean, you walk, say you walk 2 miles, and your mother, your sister, your father, your wife, or your, someone else, a family member can't, go any longer. You have to stop. You're not going to just leave them there. But I think bugging in is a lot better because, like I said, your supplies are there. You can stock up on supplies. You can get a year's worth of food and a year's worth of water. And if you're bugging in, you don't have to go anywhere. Those supplies are there. Maybe if you go out to scavenge because you didn't foresee something that you needed, but you can defend it. You know the place. Hopefully you scouted around your area. With at least within 2 or 3 blocks of you, at least. You know what's around you. You know the resources if there's any. You'll know you'll know your neighbors. You might not know them extremely well, and they might not be prepared, but you know them. You have a base of a base relationship with them. So if need be, you can come up with a community security for like 2 or 3 blocks or something like that. If the need arises and they don't find out that you're a prepper, but it's just, to me, it's a lot smarter to bug in for the facts that your supplies are there. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry about someone taking your supplies as easily as they would if you were bugging out and your supplies, like I said, your car can't go anywhere else and you have to leave. It's a lot easier for someone to break into there after you leave than someone breaking into your home while you're shooting lead down range at them. Now, I don't think it's a bad idea. Most of the people that I talk to, unfortunately, about that are preppers or that see the need to stock up on food and water, they don't and they want to bug in, and their plan is to bug in. They don't have bug out bags. I think it's important to have one. Because of the fact that if you do run up to against something like a gang or marauders and you can't defend your home because there's too many of them and there's only 1 or 2 of you, you're gonna have to leave, and if you don't, they'll probably kill you. So you need to have a bug out bag. Keep it handy, but I wouldn't solely focus on a bug out bag. Get one going, create one, but and make sure the contents and everything. But I wouldn't put my stakes on just a bug out bag. I'm gonna be bugging in, and if need be, I'll bug out as quickly as possible and hopefully not end up dying. From gangs or whatever, if I get attacked or I get smoked out or whatever. But that's my thoughts on bugging in and bugging out. I know that was a horrible assessment of bugging in and bugging out, but those are my thoughts. Subscribe, share, comment, like, but don't forget, without sacrifice there could be no victory.